All right, guys, so I think one of my chickens is sick. It's the black Marin chicken. My sister named her Molly. About 2 days ago, her face just kind of swelled up. The sinuses around her eyes and her jowls, her wattles just got really big and swelled. And 2 days ago, she was really sluggish and lethargic. So I quarantined her. I don't know if you remember that little wooden tractor I made for the chickens when they were young to get them out on grass. I'm keeping her in that pen for now. She's got her own little shelter in there. She's got hay, she's got food, she's got water with ACV in it. And I'm just keeping an eye on her to see how she's doing for the next few days and keep her away from the other chickens. If she is sick, if she does have something really wrong with her, I don't want it spreading to the other chickens. So she's in quarantine, she's being observed, and hopefully she'll start to get better. We'll see. It's also worth noting that none of the other chickens are showing any similar symptoms. No swollen head, no malaise. They're very active and in fine fettle, scratching around, picking, eating, crowing, mating, all of that stuff. So ideally, I'd like to keep it that way. And so that's why I'm being so cautious with Molly. In addition to the ACV water, I've been giving her this stuff called Vet RX, vet prescription, that a lot of folks have recommended to me to give to her. And so far, it seems to actually be helping quite a bit. She's not lethargic or sleepy or just sitting there anymore. She's actively pecking around. She's eating. She's drinking. She's scratching the grass out here. She wants to be with the rest of the flock. She can hear them, and she's like calling out for them. So I think she's on the mend. Her head is still ballooned up and swollen. So I'm going to give it a few more days, maybe a day or two more. If her activity continues at this pace, I may consider reintroducing her to the flock, even if she does still have the swollen head. But ideally, I'd like to see her head swollen, the whole swollen thing on her face and her wattles and everything start to go down. So we're going to keep an eye on her and see what happens, and I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated. Meantime, if you've been following the channel, then you know that my parents are currently living in this small cottage here on the property. It's about 1,000 square foot older mobile home that they've been fixing up and living in while they decide whether or not they want to keep it forever or if they want to get something new built. Well, there's actually a pretty big announcement on that front. Let's go see what's up. Well, look who's there.
Hello.
It's almost as if you were waiting for me, Dad.
Almost.
Well,
we don't have this planned at all.
You've got some big things to talk about, but before we get to that, there's something I did want to chat about, this back room. Pretty dramatic change. I thought we'd go check that out real quick.
Oh, the guest room.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is pretty incredible how much different this is. You'll be looking at old photos of this room right now, old video of this room right now, but as you can see, it's an entirely different space. Now, is this all just a coat of paint?
More than a coat of paint. I think I had mentioned in the previous video that the paint sort of advertised itself as a one coat and you're done, but that wasn't the case. I think we used at least
2 or 3.
Three. And actually, in some places, if you look really closely, you can see where I might need to hit it again. But I think it's a far cry from the deep purple.
Guest bedroom. It's a lot more welcoming. It's a lot more. It looks bigger.
Yeah. Something to do with the bright color. That dark purple was just. And not just foreboding, but it just seemed like a closed space.
Well done.
Well, thank you.
So you've also been working on the bathroom, I can see.
Right, yes, we have. It is definitely a work in progress right now. There's a lot left to be done. We have quite a few plans for this very little bathroom. But what we've done so far is remove all all the strips and I hate to even call it molding. It's just that really thin brown.
Mobile home strips.
Yeah.
You see in mobile homes.
Right, yeah. So get rid of all of that in the corners, top, bottom. Took the strips down here and kind of doing the mudding at this point and sanding it off. The plan is to put wainscot stuff and a chair rail, probably waist high, and then whatever color Margaret really wants for both the wainscot and the rest of the wall. This back here, apparently there's a certain kind of paint. I've been doing a little bit of research, so we'll look into that. It sure would be nice if all we had to do was just kind of scrub this area down and paint it instead of sinking $400 into a new surround for the tub, because everything else is pretty much okay. The plumbing works fine. I've done the sanding over here. If you see in a previous video, it was just kind of torn up.
Yeah, it's looking better.
It's come along. Yeah.
New windows, right?
Yes. Plan is probably not immediately getting all the windows replaced, but there are certain problem windows. The two windows that face the north side.
That's the south side over there. Yeah.
So the south side, south-facing windows. That's part of the addition on this house, and I kind of wonder whether or not they just used whatever they had on hand.
Those are from the barn.
Yeah. In fact, I think there's some more that are still out there. They're old school, and God bless our forefathers for what they had to use back in the day.
Well, I may take those from you and use them for like a greenhouse or cold frames or something like that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
A total of 3 new windows that you ordered, right?
Actually 4. So those 2 are going to be replaced, and actually this one right here.
Okay.
It's missing a window pane, and it's got a couple of other wonky problems. So the guest bedroom window is going to be replaced as well. So
cool.
Those 4, they're on order. They should be here in a couple of days. So hopefully.
And you got a new HVAC system.
Yes, yeah. So that's huge. That's big, really big. Which sort of bleeds into, I think, the larger issue that we were going to discuss.
The announcement.
So there came a point where we really had to make a decision, because we didn't want to pour a bunch of money into this place if we knew that we might not be staying here. So I guess the cat's already out of the bag since we decided to
cross the Rubicon.
We did that. We burned the ships. Who was it? Cortez or whatever. Anyway,
there's no going back.
There's no going back. We dropped several thousand into a new heating and air conditioning heat pump down here. So got that installed just a few days ago, and it's working like a champ. And it won't be long before the warmer / hot weather is on its way. Right. So having working central air in this place is going to be huge.
So since you've taken that step, it's apparent that you are going to stay here. You're going to keep this cottage, this mobile home. You're going to fix it up. You won't incur mortgage.
Right.
You'll just own this outright.
Right. We in fact do own it outright, and any of the improvements, upgrades, modifications, facelift, whatever you want to call it, will just be coming out of pocket. We're very debt averse. We just don't want to do that unless it is absolutely necessary. And of course, there's in most people's lives, ours included, there's no bigger debt than taking on a mortgage. I mean, it's necessary in most cases, and that's what we did for the longest time. But why do it if you don't have to? And we don't, we talked about this last time we had this little table chat.
Yeah.
We don't feel like we're missing out on anything. We're actually very comfortable in this little cottage.
1,000 square feet.
Right.
Which is the size of a decent sized apartment for two people.
That's true. And empty nesters.
Yeah.
So we're not tripping over each other or anything else. We've got plenty of room for the two of us. So.
Well, we're excited. Congratulations. We're going to help you in any way that we can, obviously, when it comes time to undertake certain renovations.
Yeah.
But we're excited, and we're, where we can, we'll try and document this journey.
Yeah.
As you move forward with fixing this place up. But yeah, congratulations, and thank you for letting us all know.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to even more to unveil.
Yes. All right, guys, so it's been a day since we checked in with Molly, but as you can see behind me, we've let her back in with the flock. So there's two primary reasons why we did this. The first is that the swelling on her face and her jowls and her wattles has gone down a bit. It's still there, as you can see here, but it's not nearly as intense as it was. The second is probably the more important barometer for me deciding to let her back in with the flock, and that's the fact that she's acting normal, completely normal. She's eating with her regular relish, she's drinking, she's scratching, she's got a light in her eyes, she's not lethargic and just sitting there, she's moving around like all the other chickens are. So given those two factors and the fact that she really wanted back in, she was not having fun in that little tractor that I had her in, I decided to give it a chance and let her back in. Now, granted, I'm going to keep an eye on the rest of these chickens to make sure that they're not showing any signs of sickness or lethargy or anything like that. And so far, after this entire morning, they've all been fine. There's been no signs of illness or lethargy. So I'm going to keep an eye on them. I think the Vet RX that I was using on Molly worked. I think that's what helped her. It could just be that she had something weird that she needed to get over, but I'm thinking that might have been what it was. So if I do see symptoms or signs arise in any of these other chickens, I'll probably just go ahead and do the same thing. Whatever it was that caused her face to swell up, it went away fairly quickly with the application of that stuff. So I think this is a good lesson in making sure that I identify sicknesses and weirdnesses in the chickens as they arise and make sure that I separate them and quarantine them, which I was able to do with her. And I'll continue to keep an eye on these chickens, but it ended well, and I'm very happy for that. So again, I'll keep an eye on her, but in the meantime, everything seems to be nice here. Some other good news is that the chickens seem to be ramping up their egg production. Just last week, we were averaging maybe an egg a day from our 11 laying hens, but as of yesterday, we were getting 4 eggs a day. I've already collected 2 this morning, and then I've already got another one here. It's warm, fresh. I think it was my friend Sang from Growing Little Country Homestead that said, by this spring, I'll be up to my ears in eggs, and I'm definitely okay with that. Holly makes a really mean quiche. Anyways, until next time, thanks for watching, and stay healthy.